The group was relieved to hear that Rimuru was fine. They then focused on the battlefield again to settle the score with Vega. Dino and his team were struggling against 2 of Vega's evil dragon spawn. Dino is especially desperate. Since he is barehanded, he can do nothing but run around, desperately asking for help. But everyone ignored him. No, you know what? I'm being bullied by Pito, Beretta, and the others, aren't I? Dino was still complaining, but he was not allowed to be lenient. I don't care, asshole. That's Dino's own fault, isn't it? You're getting what's coming to you because you're living in idleness. Pico is right. If you had been serious from the very beginning, you wouldn't have been exposed to such an unprofessional appearance as you are now, running away without any hands, right? Her words were harsh enough to make her think that maybe she was just being kind in her reaction. I don't know about that. I was pretty serious, too. At least, I resisted the pain as much as I could. Pico and Gracia looked at Dino as if he were an idiot. What's the matter with you two? I've got my own reasons. Dino tried to come up with more excuses, but his arguments were squashed, and he was forced to join the fight. Damn it. I thought you were my friend, Vega. Bullshit. You're so obvious, I'm not impressed. Pico and Gracia mix up Dino as usual. How can you talk so much out of your mouth like that? They must have gotten used to this kind of exchange because even Mai joined in at last. Finally, Dino relented. No wonder. I'll give it my all too. Dino said and looked up to the sky as if he had given up. The next moment, he tightens his expression and shouts. Armed with the divine spirit, Dino reveals his true form for the first time in a long time. Just like Hero Chloe's divine spirit armament, Dino's equipment has also reached a mythical grade. Usually, they hide their true nature, but at this moment, all of their capabilities are released. Furthermore, Dino is apotheosis. Apotheosis is the process of putting the authority of God in the body. Dino, Pico, and Gracia had set restrictions on their bodies in order to operate on the earth. Since this is the first time to lift these restrictions, it is unknown what will happen to Dino. Nevertheless, Dino decided that it was the right thing to do. Dino's strongest fighting form is revealed. It was a shining figure with 6 pairs of 12 shining black and white wings. He was clad in a jet black priestly garb and held 2 summoned swords in his hands. One was a golden sword Excalibur, and the other was a dark silver sword Kalivon. Naturally, they were mythical-grade sacred weapons, the strongest of all, forged from the core of a star. Black and white, the holy sword and the magic sword. The golden Excalibur and the jet-black Kalivon, whose blade is studded with stars. Dino is a masterful wielder of these opposing swords, and that is his true form. Wielding a Hoga was his first tentative style, and the reason Rimuru realized that Dino is not serious. If Dino had dual swords, his level would surpass that of Albert and Glassard. Dino was the strongest swordsman in this world. Seeing Dino, Zijin spoke to him as if he was impressed. It seems you also broke the dream's end curse I carved. I guess I was right after all. Zijin recognized Dino. He had expected it to some extent when he could not completely dominate Dino. Dino has hidden power. That is why he trusted Apito with confidence. What? Oh, no. Well, now I don't have to do your bidding. You didn't really intend to kill me from the beginning, did you? Dino laughs back, to which Zijin responds with a ha laugh. I'm not in the right frame of mind yet. Diablo will take care of that one, can you take care of the others? I don't have a choice. I'll take care of the rest. Dino had no intention of betraying them from the beginning, but at this moment, he realized that he was back. Was it because of that? Dino had finally come to his senses and was willing to apologize to Rimuru, even verbally. I'm sorry, Rimuru. I didn't mean to betray you, but I had reasons deeper than the sea and higher than the mountains. You understand that, don't you? She thought he was being honest, but this was the best Dino could do. Rimuru's response to that was, I knew I was right. I've been proven right after all. Fine, I'll forgive you. So, Dino, take out the bad one first. They had just regained their composure and they're now more relaxed. She showed her spirit of generosity and forgave Dino from the bottom of her heart. Dino was relieved, though he laughed at that. No matter how old they get, it is always difficult to apologize. He was relieved that they were able to make up. Dino's face tightened up, and he looked at the evil dragon spawn to be defeated. It's time to take over. With these words, he sent the 3 struggling men to the back. Seeing the transformed Dino, Pico, and Gracia were delighted. Oh, he looked like that. He's really good looking. Yes. Go on, Dino. Let's blow that monster out of the sky. Yeah. As soon as he said that, he instantly slashed 2 evil dragon spawn to pieces. Everyone is stunned at how quickly he did it. What, is it cool? Mai was also stunned and could not believe her eyes. People are vulnerable to gaps. Dino, who had only ever shown us his bad side, suddenly looked serious. That alone was a good look, but when he had killed the enemy whom Ma and her team had been struggling against in an instant, it was easy to admire him. Pico looked as proud as if she were herself, but her tone was piercing. You should have started from the beginning. She was swearing, but she couldn't hide the fact that she was happy. Gracia takes a break. It has been a long time since she has seen Dino in this state. Maybe since Valdenava was still alive and well. However, she feels relieved just by seeing him. I don't feel like losing no matter what kind of enemies I face. That was the same impression I had now and then. I'm really lazy. Despite his dismay, a smile naturally broke out on Gracia's face. Vega's ego had returned to thin air, even though he would have been happier to let his instincts run rampant. It was thanks to the parallel thinking that is the power of evil dragon King Azidahaka, that another ego was independently derived from the main body in a runaway state. At the same time, the understanding of the current state of affairs is coming into being. It is the amount of one's magicule that continues to grow. In fact, Vega's existence value was growing. It is only natural that Vega has been feeding on the remnants of Zelanis, and has been taking in the Labyrinth as well. On the other hand, the enemy that Vega was trying to kill, Diablo, remains stable. That is why he was even more scared. From the beginning, it was consistently an opponent that Vega could not match in terms of numbers. Yet, it was Vega that was actually being pushed. Even when it tried to capture them with its many tentacles, it was only cut into pieces by scissors. When he tried to annihilate it directly by shooting it with a large caliber high-power beam, it hit but was deflected. Diablo's level was outstanding. He tried every possible way to escape from the fear, but it was still no use. Finally, Vega understood. He now understands what it means to be strong, and that it is not the size of the existence value that determines the winner, but the total power, including the element of luck, that determines the winner. Vega was definitely lacking in level. He had experienced only monotonous battles because he had been strong without any effort. Since Diablo had stopped growing because he wanted to enjoy fighting, the difference between heaven and earth had widened to the point that there was no way to fill the gap. I can't kill him, on the other hand, I won't be killed either. Diablo was only passive, not on the offensive. He was not aiming at Vega's body, as he had slashed at Vega's evil dragon spawn. However, the intense pain at the head point has not disappeared. It was certain that Vega's mind would be exhausted by the repetition. Besides, I don't know. Maybe they're after something. Vega is afraid that no attack is coming. Diablo has a wry smile on his face. He seems to regard Vega as a weak man, and does not doubt the inevitable victory. And it seemed that he was not bluffing. Vega is a man who understands the position of the weak. Despite his ever-increasing sense of versatility, his fear of Diablo is unquenchable. This was definitely a sign that he would never win. Vega was left with only one option, the usual one of escape. However, it was not going to be that easy. Vega had continued to erode the labyrinth even in his unconscious state, but the rate of erosion was about 30%. This is a good figure, which is quite impressive. However, here comes a problem. Oh, no. There is nothing to do from here. Yes, even the enemy has countermeasures. It seems that Vega is getting isolated. Vega, who had no transferable skills, was in a situation where he could not escape. However, there was still a possibility. If there was a branching cell of Vega left somewhere, it would be possible to completely revive it from there. Of course, it was not a simple matter of having a piece of cell, but a duplicate of the size of evil dragon spawn was necessary. It would be impossible to preserve them since they would die at a certain distance from Vega. This may seem meaningless, but it is not. It is because it can be an insurance policy in case of emergency, just by keeping it at the very edge of the influence range. Vega has used it to escape from the cunning and tricky Tensura. It is a career of which he can be proud. This time, he left one of them outside the labyrinth, but he had lost contact with it. This is because of the difference in dimensionality between the inside and outside of the labyrinth. At this moment, only one evil dragon spawn is left, who is aiming at the lowest level of the labyrinth. The entrance to the labyrinth has been sealed, too. It turned out that there were some rules in the Rimuru labyrinth that could not be overturned. One of them is that the connection to the real world must be maintained. The next rule was that there must be an entrance and exit for each dimensional level. The explanation for this is that different dimensions must always be connected. It is like a space elevator connecting a satellite and the Earth. However, unlike satellites, which are pulled by the Earth's gravity, the position of the structure is not fixed in the other world. Therefore, although the satellite can be expanded, it will be left behind by the Earth's rotation, and fly away somewhere, unless it is attached somewhere. In the same way, Rimurus's labyrinth is adjacent to the other world, so it must have a connection point. It means that the entrance and exit through which Vega and the others entered the labyrinth has been closed for a long time. And now, it seemed that a new entrance had been opened in the area, protected by the last line of defense, the area past the Great Hall of Valdor. Then, it's a gamble. Good thing I shared my power as much as I could. At worst, one of them will survive. Vega thought that evil dragon spawn would survive in the probability. Since he could only produce 4 evil dragon spawn, each evil dragon spawn now has an existence value of less than 5 million. Their outer skins are of mythical grade strength, and they are strong enough to overrun any opponent. However, he cannot rest assured since he has just understood that strength cannot be measured by numbers. Therefore, Vega tries to find a way to survive by using all his wits he can. The forces in the labyrinth seem to be concentrated on defeating Vega's main body. He must accelerate this process. Diablo, Zijin, and maybe others, but he thought that a rampage here would make it easier to deal with the evil dragon spawn. I'll do it. We should just kill them all here so that we can forget about our unnecessary worries. Vega is now in high spirits, even though he knows it's impossible. His cheerfulness is admirable. Diablo is scary, but maybe luck will be on his side. Vega thinks he is lucky. Backed by this confidence, he has no doubt that the operation will succeed. Unaware that his luck had already run out, Vega began to go on a rampage. What is he up to? Diablo looked at Vega with narrowed eyes. Kufufufu. He's just trying to survive, isn't he? It's useless foot dragging, but I'll play along with you. Diablo will not make the blunders that Vega expects. He can't do it anymore. The reason Diablo had not gone on the offensive was that he was trying to get an accurate reading of Vega's capabilities. It was almost done. He had taken into account Vega's growth rate in his calculations, and now that the labyrinthine isolation had reached its final stage, he was able to decipher the limit point of the labyrinth. All he had to do now was to make Vega disappear without leaving a single speck of dust, but one troublesome fact was revealed at this point.